So it has officially been 3 weeks since I was down in Austin, Texas, testing Tesla's brand new Robotaxi service. And at the time, people were pretty skeptical. They were saying, oh, the service area is small. There's only 10 people invited to use the service. It's not going to expand. It has a safety passenger. And in these past 3 weeks, things have changed rapidly. We've already received 2 updates to the app. Most apps get way fewer updates than that. And this second app update has expanded the Tesla Robotaxi service far into North Austin. Now, this is a pretty interesting geofence here. I'm not exactly sure why Tesla went with this exact shape. If you flip the map over, it does look like the Tesla T, so maybe that's what they were going for. But either way, this is huge, and there's a few reasons why. Number one, 3 weeks in service, and Tesla is already extending the service area. Insane that they've expanded it by this much. All right, so I'm not doing this on purpose, but this is crazy. Not only is this now bigger than Waymo's service area in the same city, it also goes far into North Austin, which before people were saying, oh, Tesla's avoiding North Austin because it's more difficult than south of the river. And right here, Tesla explodes through South Austin, moves right through Waymo's geofence and extends past it. The total area that Tesla is now covering with their Robotaxi service is more than Waymo's covering in the same area, and it's been 3 weeks. That's the point. Yes, Waymo is in different areas of the country. They're in different cities. They still have way more Robotaxis and are servicing way more customers. But Tesla's update here, what we're looking for is the speed of improvement. Now, yes, we'll have to keep watching and hope that this trend continues, but either way, this is insanely impressive. In 3 weeks, I just can't get over it to see this level of service expansion. Now, I do believe in winter, we're going to see this service area shrink just a little bit. It's going to be a lot harder for Tesla to operate the Robotaxis in inclement winter weather, so that may happen, but we're going to hope that the service improves so fast that it will not matter. Another cool part of this service expansion is, if you'll remember, when I was in Austin, the first hotel that I stayed at actually didn't have Robotaxi service. It was outside of the service area, outside of the geofence. So I actually used Waymo to move into the service area for the Robotaxi, and then I took my rides. Well, now with this, if this was the service area when I was there, or if I go back and stay at that same hotel, it's covered. It is now within the service area. So places while I was in Austin that I actually needed to be at and needed to have transportation to and from that were not in the Robotaxi service area, they're now there. It's pretty awesome. The app update also brought more functionality to Robotaxi overall, including stuff in the app. So now, one of the things that I was asking for is your search results will show if a destination closes near your arrival time. This is a great update that I specifically was asking for, because when you're in an area using a Robotaxi, you're probably not from that area. Now, in the far future, we might use them for everything all over the place. But for now, it's more like an Uber or a Waymo, where you're on vacation or you need a ride because you don't have a vehicle, and you're probably not familiar with the area. You probably don't know the business hours in that area. And I had a couple of times where the Robotaxi actually dropped me off at my destination, and the place was closed, and I didn't know. And this is something that Tesla vehicles already do. If you own a Tesla vehicle, when you navigate to a business, it will actually, if your arrival time is after or near the closing time, you'll get a little warning up there before you even start your trip that says you are arriving, after close, or this business may be closed when you arrive. So this was something Tesla already has done, and all they had to do was bring it to the Robotaxi app. Now, I don't know how simple that is, but it sounded simpler than if they didn't have this feature anywhere. And they brought it in the second app update, which is just so cool to see. Another update I recently received is that my private information has been deleted from the internet using today's sponsor, Delete Me. I know that you don't want your email, your phone number, your address, and all of this personal information floating around on the internet, and that's where Delete Me comes in. Data brokers are collecting your information and selling it to third parties, and they're not even giving you a cut. When these data brokers do this, it can lead to identity theft, phishing, and other scams, but by using Delete Me, you can have those data brokers remove your personal information. Delete Me will do all of the hard work for you, going to data brokers and getting your information removed from these websites. I've been using Delete Me for almost 2 years now, and I've seen my personal information actually removed and disappear from multiple of these websites. I just got my latest Delete Me report that shows they have looked at over 3,500 listings, and over the past 2 years, deleted my information from over 100 different places on the internet. That's insane that my personal information was in all of these different places. This latest report had 16 removals on its own. Some of my information that was found on these websites was my full name, my past addresses, my current address, my age, my occupation, my social media handles, court records. It's crazy that all of this stuff was out there. But thank you to Delete Me. It's not there anymore and it has been deleted. So use my link down below, save 20% on this important service. Now, other updates for the Robotaxi app that have been implemented are walking directions to your pickup and your final destination have been added to the app. So with these Robotaxis, Waymo does the same thing. This is kind of an advantage that Uber has because of the human in the driver's seat. They go to predetermined pickup and drop-off locations. Now, when I was in Austin using the service, almost every single time the Robotaxi came directly to where I was, but a lot of times where I was in a parking lot of a business, and so the Robotaxi could just come up to the front door. But if you're going to more busy areas, there was like a downtown strip that had a lot of different like shopping and food and stuff. I noticed that the Robotaxi would park kind of off to the side of this main road, which made sense. It wasn't going to park like in the middle of a main road, but it would park off to the side on like a side street or something, and I'd have to go to the Robotaxi, or if it was dropping me off in that area, I'd have to get out of the Robotaxi on that side street and then walk for, it was usually just like 1 minute or 2 minutes to my final destination where I actually wanted to go to. Well, now if the Robotaxi isn't coming directly to you, you'll have walking directions in the app right there for you to show you exactly where you need to be. This is great. It was never a problem for me, but I could see, again, if you're in an area you're not familiar with, you might not know, the map just shows you a pin and you're like, I have no idea where that is. How do I get there? Now you'll know the app will help you get exactly to your Robotaxi. Another update is that you can edit your destination after booking your trip. Now, this is really useful. This is something I actually chimed into the service to do.
Tesla Robotaxi support, how may I help you?
Hi, I realized I accidentally left my wallet back at my hotel. Is there any way I could reroute to my hotel? Oh, and there it goes. So calculating. Wow, interesting. So it says manual nav.
Now in that clip, I cut it down a little bit to make it a little faster for you, but it took a couple of minutes for the service when I contacted them to actually get the new destination in, and then for the Robotaxi to change its route and do all of this stuff. So having this built directly into the app, again, less humans. You don't need a human to do this for you. You just do it yourself on your phone. It'll get done automatically and the car can kind of change its destination. This saves you fees. You don't have to now get to your destination and be like, oh man, I was actually supposed to go here, and then get another Robotaxi, stand there, wait for it, and then pay again, and all of that. So right in the app, you have this update. You can change your final destination. Now, talking about the price, not having to book another Robotaxi if you go to the wrong destination, the price is the same, $4.20 for every ride. So now if you go all the way from the bottom to the top of this new service area, even though it's much bigger than it was before, you are still going to pay the same $4.20 price. Now, a lot of people are saying this is just meme pricing, and eventually it will be updated. And yeah, of course, prices will change over time, but I don't think we're going to see this change for a very long time. Tesla, number one, wants data. They want people using this service. They are testing their payment systems. They're testing, the Robotaxis themselves and the app and all of this. So they just want people to use it. They're pulling in a little bit of revenue. They can at least report on that and say, hey, we're making money with Robotaxi. We have driverless vehicles with a safety passenger out on the road, and we're bringing money in with those. So very cool to see that you can have an even longer trip, time-wise and distance-wise, and pay the exact same price. Now, this new service area still does not include Gigafactory Austin. So Tesla's own factory is still not in the geofence, but there's a couple interesting points to consider with that. Number one is we saw the first delivery of a completely driverless Tesla. There was nobody in the passenger seat or anything. Come out of the factory and drive. It was into the service area in Austin and the car delivered itself to a customer. So obviously Tesla can operate outside of this geofence. I think most people would assume that they can kind of do whatever they want. And the geofence, the service area, is for customers. It's for the end user. It's probably more regulated. This is what they're reporting, to the local government and saying, hey, this is where Robotaxis are operating, while getting additional permissions for manufacturer deliveries or manufacturer vehicles. On top of this, employees probably have their own geofence that they can use within Tesla. So employees probably already have access to this service to get to work. Now, employees of Tesla in the Austin area maybe don't need a vehicle. And what if employees get a discounted rate? What if, as an employee of Tesla, one of your perks is you get 100 Robotaxi rides a month, absolutely free? You could then not own a car. You could take the Tesla Robotaxi to work, take it around to wherever you need to go. That would be pretty cool. I'm just kind of speculating on this part here. But again, the geofence that we are looking at, we don't know what Tesla's doing outside of that. In addition to that, there is employee service in California, where employees are actually using Robotaxi in California to get to work or get around. Now, in California, they still have a safety driver in the driver's seat. And I think this is a big reason why we have not seen Robotaxi service in California yet. I agree it would be kind of embarrassing for Tesla to roll out a Robotaxi service where you can download the app and use it in California, but then you have somebody in the driver's seat. They're catching enough flack for having the safety passenger, which overall and in the long term doesn't matter at all, doesn't mean anything. It's just a short term, kind of target for people. But it would be kind of weird to have a Robotaxi and then there's somebody in the driver's seat. So when we do expand to California, there may still be safety passengers, but hopefully we're not going to have anybody in the driver's seat when Tesla finally gets the permission to operate in that capacity. But this just goes to show that Tesla's service area where the Robotaxi is functional is more than we know. We can't just look at the app and see this service area and say, oh, well, that's where the Robotaxi functions, because we already know for several months now that Robotaxi has been functioning in California for employees only. There's additional updates we want to see. We still need more Robotaxis on the road. I think that's a given, especially with a bigger service area. If you have the same amount of Robotaxis, wait times are going to increase as you add people to the app, which Tesla is continually adding more people to use this service. Wait times are going to increase. If you have a Robotaxi get a flat tire, I mean, what do they have, 10 or 11 Robotaxis on the road? One flat tire and 10% of your fleet is gone. So that's pretty funny to think about. Tesla is definitely going to need to add more Robotaxis, but again, they still have the safety passengers, and I think they really want to get rid of that. Now that we've had an expansion and extension in the service area, which is huge. I mean, less than a month. I'm so excited for this. The next thing we need to see is the safety passengers going away. Now, if we continually expand the service area, which, come on, this shape is really weird, so I would assume the next one will be pretty quick to make it more of a normal operating area. But what we really want to see next outside of service expansion is now safety drivers going away. Once we see that, things are going to get really crazy, because Tesla's limit right now, and the limit for really any of these types of services that are using humans, is the humans. You have to keep hiring people and adding them in the car, and they're expensive and they cost a lot of money. Once Tesla can operate just in Austin, let's not even talk about other areas yet. Once we see Austin with no safety passengers, the limit on Tesla's amount of Robotaxis is going to be next to infinite. Tesla makes what, like 5,000 Model Y per week? They're currently operating with 10. So if they take 100 of these a week and plop them on the road, I mean, that is ridiculous. Now we're talking a little far here, but again, once the human is gone, there is nothing stopping that from happening, because Tesla already has the mass production of the vehicle. All they got to do is load whatever software on there, which is nothing. That's easy for them to do. And then they can just throw these Robotaxis on the road as much as they want. Nothing like a flat tire or anything like that will matter at all. It won't matter, because as soon as one gets a flat tire from the factory, you just send another Model Y to pick up the people that are waiting for the one that got the flat tire. Now, Austin is a little unique in this regard because they have the factory sitting right there. But anyway, my point is, once these safety drivers are gone, the service expansion that we're going to see is going to be unprecedented. It's going to be ridiculous, and it's going to be super exciting. And it's funny because last time when I talked about the first Robotaxi app update, which just added a couple of small features to the app, people were saying, oh, it's just fluff. This is just, Tesla trying to pump their stock, which the stock's been flat for like 4 years now. So if they're trying to pump the stock, it's not working very well. And they were kind of dismissing it because it's like, oh, who cares? It's just an app update. This isn't like, it doesn't have anything to do with the service, but it does. It really shows that this is happening. And what's more exciting on the more macro scale of all these kind of Elon companies is that we're seeing Grok update, we're seeing Optimus updates, we're seeing Tesla updates, we're seeing updates for all these things are happening at all of these companies. So it's going to be a good next couple of years, in my opinion, for all things like Tesla and X related, because it really seems like these companies are pushing and operating on all cylinders. No, there's no cylinders. They're operating on all electric motor. It doesn't have the same ring to it. But either way, move the goalposts. Let me know why this service is still kind of and why you think it's just fluff, or it's not actually expanding, or it's not exciting. Because I know you have reasons. Number one is, of course, the safety passenger. But outside of that, what do you think is making this not exciting? Why do you think we should calm down a little bit and say, Robotaxi, it's not as cool as we think? Because from where I'm sitting and the updates we've seen so far, not just the launch of the service, which was probably the hardest part, but the additions, the updates to the service has got me excited. I don't know what else to say, Yes, I'm a fan of Tesla and all this stuff, but I've always been pretty skeptical on some of the bigger goals here, and I want to see actual proof and data and results. And from where I'm sitting, we're seeing actual things happening with this service to show that it's expanding. But either way, I look forward to talking to you down in the comments, reading your reasons why we should be skeptical. And don't forget to check out that link below on Delete Me to save 20%. You will see me in the next video.